What do you get when you combine a football boot-obsessed Danishman, the 2010 Chameleon Purple F50 Adizero, and the 2014 F50 Adizero Crazy Light? You get this. This is what you get. More specifically, you get the Adidas F50 Ghosted Adizero from the Memory Lane pack done in collaboration with J-Mike from Unisport, and as you can see, they look absolutely insane. It combines the OG upper from the 2010 F50 with, of course, some Crazy Light elements, and the Soleplate and stud pattern from the new X Ghosted line, all for just $250, but unfortunately very limited and already sold out. Adidas, if you're watching, we need some more. Xbox. So even though they're technically sold out, and also I'm a little bit late to the party here, they're just way too cool to not make a video about. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. We're gonna go over all the details. We're gonna talk a little bit of F50 Adizero history, how it ties to the new X Ghosted series, and really just get a look at all of the cool details on these football boots, including how they fit and feel on feet. So if you're interested in learning more, please stick around, watch the entire review. And if you are interested in a pair of these for yourself, you're gonna have to buy them from somebody reselling them, but if you do want the regular X Ghosted boots, either the Plus or the .1, links to both of those will be down below in the description. Those will take you to the review pages on my website, where you'll find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, where you'll be able to pick them up below their normal retail prices. As always, if you guys do end up enjoying this video and perhaps wanna see some of the other boots from the Memory Lane pack, because I do have some other ones on the way that should be here shortly, don't forget to support this one with a like, and I'll try to make that happen. Also, if you're new here watching for the first time and don't want to miss out on weekly content on everything football boots, make sure you hit that subscribe button along with the little bell notification so you get notified when the next new video goes live. Very quickly, just to go over the extras, because you do get some cool stuff here. It does come in a special black box with a black chrome X logo there on the front, and then you can see it has little cutouts in the form of the old F50 logo that are mismatched to match the boots on either side. The drawer is purple. Obviously, it's colored along the sides. When I pull it open, very cool little detail there. And then as far as extras go, they don't include a string bag or anything like that, but they do include an extra set of insoles that are actually two different color foams and two different colors. They're already mismatched inside the boots, but you do get a pair in neon yellow as well as a pair in purple. Now, before we get into the boots, I just want to do a quick history lesson on the two boots that inspired this colorway slash variation of the X Ghosted. So of course, the one that you guys probably all recognize, the OG F50 Adizero from 2010 in Chameleon Purple. This was the colorway that Messi wore in the 2010 World Cup. This, of course, being the synthetic variation, which is pretty much the exact same upper you're gonna find on these remakes, but Messi, of course, wore the leather version, as did a lot of professional players. But if you wanted the lightest one, this was definitely the variation to have. And as far as the Chameleon Purple effect is concerned, as you can see, it kind of shifts from purple to green in the light. That effect was much more noticeable and significant on the synthetic upper variation. 4 years later, the F50 Adizero would gain a little bit of weight. Really, the lightest one was the OG from 2010, but you could also make the argument that they improved over time despite the slight weight gain. But then Adidas surprised everybody by releasing this, the F50 Adizero Crazy Light, really a completely reworked version of the F50 Adizero that shaved a ton of weight, sub 5 ounces in a size 9 US, and I believe they were advertising like 135 grams or something like that. Later on in the year, they would release a secondary colorway, which is this one right here. You can see it is green and blue on the one side with this kind of chevron arrow pattern, and then as you go across the top of the upper, it transitions into a yellow base with kind of a reddish orange accent, black stripes, laser etched outsole. It's just one of the craziest looking F50 Adizeros ever, and of course, as the name would suggest, they are crazy light. And then 6 more years later, this guy decided to combine them. Now, I personally think it's fair to say, and feel free to disagree with me with your own selection down below in the comment section, that this is the wildest colorway on any football boot of 2010, and it's also just a crazy combination to get the synthetic 2010 F50 Adizero upper literally 1-to-1 with the original on the 2020 X Ghosted sole plate and stud pattern, which is honestly one of the best sole plate tooling slash layout slash technologies that I think has ever been featured on a pair of football boots. And the fact that it works so well together is pretty mind-blowing. But the colorway itself features the chameleon purple base of that OG F50 that Messi wore, but then incorporates the chevron design with the color fade from left to right, where you can see it blue to green to yellow to this orangish red color on the medial side, and then you have that red to blue transition on the wearable finish of the sole plate as well. This really is just, I mean, they're not for everybody, I think that's safe to say, but they look absolutely insane. Aside from the crazy look though, this is the same sprint skin upper found on the OG 2010 F50 in chameleon purple. The only minor variation you're going to find is a slight transition in the texturing, being with a little bit more of a matte finish where the chevron stripes are versus the purple areas that are a little bit more glossy, but it's very difficult to notice on the ball. It features the same micro texturing that matched the Jabulani match ball from the 2010 World Cup, which is a cool little detail and really stands out because of the chevron stripes, the classic F50 logo in white, and of course they did opt for the original F50 stripes as well, which to me, that's one of the best designs they ever featured on a pair of speed boots. So really happy that they stuck with that design. The synthetic upper itself is admittedly a little bit plasticky by today's standards, but it is surprisingly wearable as well. It still feels good. I think that the new X Ghosted upper, whether you go for the Plus or the 0.1, that does feel significantly improved, but it's also 10 years newer. So what do you expect? It even has the glossy trim around the outside for the sake of durability. And then internally, kind of a cool little detail and technically different from the OG, you can see it does have the little reinforcement right there, but it's in a neon green color. It's kind of matched the wild outside of the boot. But as far as the construction of the upper is concerned, it is exactly like the OG. Same off-center lacing system, same thin synthetic tongue with the perforations that probably shouldn't be there because when it rains, water gets in the boots very quickly, which is not exactly ideal, but people lived with it back in the day. Low cut design taken directly from the OG F50 as well. A little bit of padding on the side. I think this is the one element of the OG F50 that hasn't aged all that well. It has this little pull tab that is completely unnecessary, although I guess a little bit helpful when putting the boots on. But the heel liner is that same kind of micro texturing from the Jabulani ball in the form of a synthetic material, but there is next to no padding back there whatsoever. So it's comfortable enough. But again, if you compare it to most modern football boots, I don't think that this heel liner and the way that it fits in general is quite as comfortable as some might expect. And then the insole, fully removable. I'll give you guys a quick look at that. It just features a standard mesh liner on the surface, some perforations throughout the X and F50 branding, being that this is a limited edition model, and then it's the same insole you would get with any other X Ghosted boots. And then moving to the base of the boot, you will of course notice that this does feature the new speed frame from the current X Ghosted model. That also features an external heel counter that is almost the exact same shape as the one they were using on the F50 in 2010. So really, this design has lasted a very long time, and I still think it's very good. As far as the sole plate is concerned, the highlight here is the raised forefoot and the Carbitex insert, which is a piece of special carbon fiber that runs from the base of the midfoot right to the tip of your toe that really gives you this responsive kind of I guess energy return type of sensation. It feels extremely solid underfoot, as well as feeling very lightweight as well. Very impressive. Nothing else really comes close to this as far as sole plate technology is concerned. And then as far as the new stud pattern goes, it's again the same general layout. That hasn't changed all that much within the Adidas brand since 2010. That stud pattern kind of layout has really stood the test of time for the Adi brand, but they've definitely made it a lot more aggressive than what we've seen in recent years, kind of to match the Nike Mercurial series to a certain extent. I don't think it's quite on the same level in terms of outright bite, but in terms of overall traction, this is definitely one of the better stud patterns they've ever made. Which brings us to the weight, and this might be a little bit surprising to some people, but even 10 years later, Adidas still isn't really making football boots as light as they were in 2010. And obviously this is a remake. It's kind of a mishmash of different boots. It's not a main football boot design for the Adi brand, but they're nowhere near as light as the OG F50 Adi Zero Crazy Light, which I figured I would weigh just for fun because they are ridiculously lightweight. This pair is a size 9 US, and you can see that they weigh in at 4.7 ounces, 134 grams, 1 gram less than advertised, which is extremely impressive. If we pull these off the scale and grab the remakes, we'll change the scale back to ounces really quickly. These in a size 9.5 US, you can see weigh in at 6.2 ounces, the equivalent of 175 grams. So still extremely lightweight, but when you compare it to these, they're really not in the same ballpark. Is that relevant? They're not in the same league. Let's go with that. So here they are on feet, and as you can see, I think it's safe to say that there is no better football boot that you can possibly purchase if the goal is to stand out. These are as flashy and as wild and as unique as it can possibly get. So many colors going on, so much design, and if you run into a fellow boot nerd who knows exactly what you have on your feet, it's just that much cooler to me. I love the combination of two football boots that you would never think to combine. And honestly, while there's an argument to be made that these are extremely ugly, there's also an argument to be made that they are extremely cool at the same time, which is what I love to see from football boots in general. As far as how they fit and feel on feet, it is a 2010 synthetic F50 Adizero upper on an X-Ghosted sole plate. The sole plate feels exactly as it would on the latest Adidas generation of speed boots, which is great. It's fantastic. I really like it. The F50 upper, however, does actually work quite well. Is it a little bit on the plasticky side? Yes. Is the heel liner not the most comfortable? It's also cut a little bit lower at the back, which is kind of unusual. It was a quirk of the 2010 F50. Feels exactly the same on the remake here. And the lacing system, because it runs nice and deep, you can actually get a nice tight grab on your foot, but the volume and overall width, especially through the toe box and forefoot area, is maybe a little bit on the excessive side. I don't want to say that the boots fit poorly, but they certainly don't fit as well as the X-Ghosted Point 1 as an example. It's also worth noting that this is a remake and it was limited edition and it is sold out. So it's not integral that this is a football boot that fits exactly as Adidas wanted it to. If you wanted that 2010 F50 feel, you definitely get it here, and you can enhance that with some pure grip socks, as I'm wearing here in royal blue. They're the most affordable grip socks on the market at just $14.99 a pair, available now in a wide variety of colors at puregripsocks.com. If you're interested in checking that out, the website will be linked down below in the description. As far as width is concerned, they have some decent width to them. I would say they're actually a little bit wider than what you're going to find from the regular X-Ghosted models because of the standard lacing setup with just a regular tongue. So as long as you don't have super wide feet, I think that these are going to fit most people. Just don't expect too much stretch out of what is a pretty rigid, somewhat plasticky upper. And then as far as sizing is concerned, I'm wearing these in my usual size 9.5 US, and they do fit a little bit more roomy than a regular X-Ghosted model in the same size. But in general, I would personally recommend going true to size in order to achieve the best possible fit. So in conclusion, it's safe to say that these are some of the weirdest yet coolest football boots that we got all year long. Well done to J Mike from Unisport, and definitely go and check out the episode of the Boot Nerds podcast where J Mike and I discuss the process behind this boot. He talks about it more than I do because he's obviously the one that did it, but you get what I'm saying. It's an interesting watch if you are interested in learning a little bit more about these and kind of the behind the scenes of creating a football boot. Nonetheless, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to support it with a like. Again, if you're interested, not in these, but in the new X-Ghosted boots in general, links to both the Plus and Point 1 can be found down below, where you'll find exclusive SR4U coupon codes where you'll be able to pick them up below their normal retail prices. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to ask them down below in the comment section, and I'll do my best to get an answer out to you. If you're not subscribed to the channel already, make sure you hit that subscribe button along with the little bell notification so you get notified when the next new video goes live. You can find all my social media information linked down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.